Hey everyone, today I want to take a look at the 4th edition Player's Book that came with the starter set. This book is not to be confused with the Player's Handbook. This is only 32 pages and it is soft cover. It has a single purpose, and that is to help a new player create a 4th edition character, and it gets right to it. The first page gives you a little bit of info about Dungeons & Dragons and then goes right into building a character. The first thing I love about this book is the approach they take. Unlike the Player's Handbook and other beginner sets, it doesn't just tell you how to build a character, it lets you experience it. The entire book is set up like a choose-your-own-adventure story. As you go through this mini-adventure, you're asked questions. How you answer those questions not only determines where you go next in the story, but also gives you information about your character. Part 1 sets up an encounter where you are attacked by a band of goblins. You're asked how you want your character to respond. Do you pull a weapon and charge at the goblins, or do you cast a magic spell, or sneak around and try to surprise them, or maybe you want to tend to the wounded caravan leader? It even has an option where you decide to hide, but then it tells you that this is not very heroic and you need to choose something else. This first choice determines what class your character will be. You get a little bit of info about the class, and you even have the option to go back and choose something different or to move forward with that class. It then walks you through a little bit of filling out the character sheet based on that choice, and then you get to take an action. It's really a great way for someone who has no experience with D&D to learn how to create a character without just reading through a rule book. I know it works well because it was my first experience with Dungeons & Dragons, and it really hooked me right from the start. The next great thing about this is that it's not just a simple combat encounter. You actually get the full experience. Once you go through the initial stages of getting your character set up through all of these different choices that you make, then you move on to the second section of this adventure where you have to track the goblins to their lair. And in this section, you learn more about how the game is played and the types of things you will do as a character. You learn about alignment, you learn about languages, you learn about skills and healing, all while continuing to choose your path through this adventure and actually play through the game. Everything is spelled out for you step by step, including giving you information to help give your character some personality. By the time you get to the end, you have a complete character, which leads to the third great thing about this book. Once you reach the last pages, you get another combat encounter, but this time it's for real. You've built your character and you learned how the game is played, and now you get to actually do it. They have a map that was included with the starter set, and it tells you how to set up that map, and you get the statistics for a goblin, along with some tactics for how that goblin is going to behave during this combat encounter. And then you run through it just like you would any encounter. You have initiative and you have different turns and you take actions for each of the characters until something happens. Either you succeed or you run away or you're defeated. And you get a different ending to the story depending on how you made out during this encounter. They say that the best way to teach someone is to show them and then walk them through it and then let them do it. And you get all of that with this book. I remember printing out a bunch of the character sheets and running through this book multiple times, building out different characters. It was a blast every time, and that is exactly the feeling that you should have when you play the game for the first time. 4th edition really nailed it with this book. Did you get the 4th edition starter set? What was your experience building out a character with the Player's Book? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. If you want to get some free stuff and additional content, sign up for my free newsletter. The link is down in the description. Please subscribe to the channel, and until next time, take care.